Hello, it's Lauren and welcome to another video. So in today's video I wanted to talk about buying your very first beginner flute when you haven't played the flute at all and you don't know where to start. So some reliable beginner brands, and I'll talk about brands in a second because you can have the exact same machine-made flute and it'll sound completely different from flute to flute. So one flute sounds amazing and great, another flute has leaks in it and sticky keys even though it's brand new. So getting caught up in the brands isn't the most important thing when getting a beginner flute. I think actually just knowing that the flute works pretty good is the most important thing. So, but if you do want to start with some brands, some very common, reliable brands are Gemeinhart and Yamaha. And there's so many others, and they're also great, but those are just two super popular brands that you can start with to look into. So some features that might be good to look for in getting a beginner flute, I would say, is that they have the offset G feature. And so I'll just show you what that is. My flute has an offset G. You'll see that these keys are these are offset from the rest of the flute. These are lower down, and that's to make it easier for your hand to reach. Inline is where all the keys are facing the same direction, so you have to reach a little bit further with this finger. But I think it's just, in general, most people probably like the offset G a little bit more because it's just more ergonomic for the hands. But I can still play an inline G no problem, and it doesn't really bother me. So, but I do prefer the offset G. It's just a little bit more comfortable. So then some other things to look for is a lot of beginner flutes are closed hole, but I would say why not, if possible, try getting an open hole flute, because you can always get little plugs. You can buy plugs at the music store to put in the open hole keys. So this is open hole. You can get closed hole where these are just silver, they're just closed. But I would just say, why not get an open hole flute and put plugs in it, and when you're ready to experiment with removing the plugs and trying, one or two keys open hole, I would say that's better because you have more options. And oh yeah, most beginner flutes usually have a C foot joint, but this flute has a B foot joint. So a C foot joint only has two keys. They only have two keys here. This third one is one extra lower note. But yeah, so I would definitely say that most beginner flutes will have a C foot joint anyway. But the B foot joint is more like an intermediate or advanced flutes. So you probably won't find them when looking for beginner flutes anyway. My battery is gonna fizzle out any minute now. So we'll see how much time we have left. I might have to find a different location to do the rest of the video. So a nice brand that I like is the Gemeinhart 3.0. I think that's a nice example that includes all the features that I'm talking about. You're welcome to look at flutes on Craigslist, and if you know someone that plays the flute and wants to test the flutes for you and go with them, I think that's a really good idea. Right, it just cut out, but I have a new battery, so I just had a few other things to say. So I was just saying, if you're getting or trying a flute from Craigslist, I would recommend maybe going with a friend, just so somebody can test play it and make sure it's in good working condition. The people selling it might not play the flute. The flute might look beautiful on the outside, but it might not play very well. So if that's an option, I would suggest going with a friend if possible to check it out. Someone who plays the flute, obviously. And the next thing is renting to own. So a lot of music stores have a rent to own option where you can pay as little as $25 a month. Maybe they'll have like you pay 3 months in advance and then $25 a month after that. That's common. But yeah, so you can look into that, especially if you're not sure of if you want to commit to playing the flute. That might be a good option to look into, and just check with the local music stores in your area. I'm sure they all have their different deals and the ways that they do it. And then the final thing I wanted to say, if the musician, the player is starting at a very young age, like below the average age, maybe the average age to start playing the flute would be like 10 or 11. But below that, like really young players, maybe 8 or even 7, I would consider the Nouveau J flutes. It's for people with really small hands. It's made of plastic, so it's really durable if you're worried about them, you know, maybe dropping it. It's, you know, or not being good with a metal flute, which is pretty delicate. And so I've used that with some of my students in the past, and it's worked really well. It has the curved head joint, and you can also get a metal flute with a curved head joint for younger players that might be able to handle a metal flute and take care of it. So those are all things to look at. The Nouveau J flute's really affordable and it works great. My experience with it has been really positive, and my students have liked that flute too, the ones that have used it. So those are basically my recommendations. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.